Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid and we're back in NewCasting. It's turn 85. Um, Basically everybody's declared war on Lemuria, and things look to be going kind of sideways for the Coalition, mostly due to Phlegra being pretty much dead. We have Ulm going and attacking, which is, I think, good. We have Jomon not really having things in position to make any significant gains against Lemuria. And Bogarus is looking to go after Satis. The Abyssia Lemuria war starts here too, but as we can see, there's almost no Abyssia onto Lemuria flags. Instead, it looks like Abyssia has invited Lemuria to attack them. And that doesn't bode well, but we'll see. A message from Lemuria. Dear Diary, today I figured out the mystery of why Ulm hadn't canceled their nap yet. They forgot we had one. They proposed, unprompted, to pull back their forces and start the nap cancellation from last turn, which, if it is to be believed, is cool. They also proposed to masquerade that we were actually at war to Jomon. Hard to be trusting in the... Wait, what? They thought they had a nap, so they want to cancel it. They want to pull back and restart, but they don't want Jomon to know that they pulled back. I don't understand that one bit. This all reinforces my idea that the only thing I don't like about my position is the vulnerability of my capital. 70 to 80% of a metric ton of grand lemurs are tied there. The rest, mostly to a province near. If things go catastrophically wrong, that will be it. Main risky move this turn for me is attacking Jomon's 127 province that you may have noticed for its disgusting sites and economy value. I'll also begin the siege of Phlegra. Well, Phlegra is patrolling Phlegra, so we'll see how that goes. Or they had been. Unfortunate bumps with Ulm and Phlegra. Ulm and I talked a bit about movements the turn before last. I didn't confirm, so that's on me. No catastrophic losses on his part, though I lost my general. So we'll see how that pans out sitting on top of a hostile fort. I've lost many Dione this game. I still have a lot of them, especially when putting them... I still have a lot to learn about them, especially when putting them in risky roles. Yeah, it's a kind of weird thing, because when you're playing Yomi, who gets recruited, they can recruit Dione from their capital. I think what you kind of tend to do is in the late game, you shift to using them as casters. And you'll still use them as super combatants and stuff sometime, but you really don't want to lean on that very hard. And I think that's kind of the problem here is, like, with Jomon, you don't really get Dione in the early game. You only get them in the late game. And while it's nice to have, a super combatant or two you can use in a pinch, I think you probably still want to use them mostly as casters. But like important casters that are going to be immune to assassins or be able to put up spells faster than other casters or things like that. Or cast things that you can't normally cast, like Wailing Winds. Also, a lot of negotiating went into putting up Gifts of Health. Throne of Fire going to Abyssia in 3 to 4 turns. Bogarus is getting 100 Earth Gems, 25 Pearls, the Chalice Artifact, and how much I overcasted Gift of Health by. Okay, huh. That's really weird. I'd be interested. If you're watching this, Jomon, put in the comments why, how this deal went down. Normally, I haven't ever heard of people doing a deal like this. Like, I'm gonna put up Gift of Health, but I'll pay you for the privilege of doing that. I don't really understand. Did it hit somebody else's global maybe, and then they're upset, and you're trying to keep the coalition together? I don't think the game is in such a state where Jomon needs... maybe they need to give a throne. I like the idea of them giving a throne to somebody to help keep the coalition together, because you don't have to worry about a Jomonese throne rush. I don't think they need to give a lot more. I think pretty much everybody else has a pretty good reason to fight Lemuria. Okay, message from Bogarus. This turn I'm moving up mages and troops to prepare for the coming attack. On the border, strategic level things aren't looking great. Jomon's put up Gift of Health, which means mass-produced tarts. Right now, I believe Jomon is the clear number 1, followed by Lemuria. I don't think that's right, buddy. At least I managed to get some concessions in the form of gems from Jomon. At this point, my plan is still to grow in hopes of becoming a bigger power. Yeah. The other thing, too, is that when you're... It's one of the things, it's nice having graphs. It's really hard if you're Jomon to convince somebody else that you're not in position 1. You know, like people think you're the threat. And this happens to me because, you know, people know who I am and stuff when I'm playing a game with them. So they're like, oh, you're in position 1. Sometimes I'm like, no, guys, like, well, we're going to lose this game together. I'm going to be on the losing side with you. Hard to convince people of that. But, yeah, I mean, the only chance that Boger... I mean, this is not really true. I think Boger is still making a rational move going for Satis. But they clearly have what in my opinion is a misunderstanding of the game state. And even if... so, like, let's say they say... let's say they agree and attack Lemuria or something, right? Like, they're like, okay, Jomon really isn't in position 1. We attack Lemuria. Well, if they knock Lemuria down a few pegs, and maybe they go up a few pegs, then maybe Jomon could become in position 1, right? And then it would make sense for them to go. So, you know, it's the same thing. Like if I were in a game and somebody's like, oh, you're in position 1, and and I'm like, no, I'm in like position 2 by a huge margin, or position 3 or 4. And we go after the position 1 player and knock them down a couple pegs. Well, I might be in position 1 after that. So it doesn't mean I was lying before when I was like, I'm not in position 1. It would mean I was in position 3, and then we worked together, knocked position 1 down, and then maybe at some point in the future, somebody, you know, it changes. Anyway. Important things about understanding game state, and this is kind of funny. So let's just go do this from the map. We'll scan through at the end and make sure we don't miss any battles. So Phlegran has liberated the forces on top of Asheton, that they've abandoned Arcocephale, and on top of Phlegran we have a battle. Lemuria is attacking, and we have basically the same stack from Phlegran. Dear God, please do. Living Fire. No. I want Firestorm. We don't have army. We have no protection buffs. We should see mass protection here. You have an important fight. He has Fog Warrior, so he has Alteration 7. What is this guy doing? Where's Firestorm? Where's Firestorm? Where is Firestorm? You've cast it before this game. Come on, bro. Oh, no. Did they fatigue out before Firestorm could go? I don't even know, guys. I don't know. Oh, he steals one of these guys, too. It's kind of hilarious. Oh, we got 3 Cyclops Smiths? That's hilarious. Let's see if Lemuria was prepared in any way to deal with Firestorm. Yeah, this is just straight up misplay from Phlegran. He's got like... I mean, this is like classic, right? You get all these fancy mages, which are over... If you need them, they're great, right? But they're a little overpriced, right? And then you don't even use them correctly. Like, come on, man. Firestorm! Like, I've been, like, waiting for this. I'm like, I want to see you cook these goddamn ghosts. You know, open up the Barbie. Let's get this party started. And then fails to deliver. Come on, man. This is the perfect opportunity to just take out your pound of flesh. Feels so bad. Sad times. Let's see what the hell is happening over here with Olm. Did he really back off? He moved. He had this force here and he moved over here. He's playing like hide the something, right? Like he's like, I don't really know what's happening to these archdevils, but he's shuffling things around. Yeah, not a lot of action over here. On the Jomonese front, I think this was where Lemuria said there might be a lot of action. Okay. Let's watch this. Looks like a very small, unimportant Lemurian raiding party. I just want to see what Jomon's doing. Oh, Army of Gold, Magma Eruption. Okay. Hardly loses anything. Let's come over here to this front. Isn't that like a cave? Oh. I think this might be a battle. So Jomon, I don't think has battlefield wipes here, but I think they had Army of Gold from the last time we were looking at it. Problem is that's not good enough versus... Oh, I don't think Army of Gold went off. What was he casting? Tomb of High Power, is he going to lose that? He cast Mass Flight? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these guys don't have any protection. Does he have... All right. Yeah, there's so many problems with this. I can't even... Alright guys, I have a video, I made it, I haven't released it yet, but it's on how to pop kill nations. I'm going to give you the very quick version here for fighting Lemuria, right? At the beginning, you need supply items, you need siege power, you need anti-magic, and you need magic weapons of some kind, or like some kind of evocation thing to kill them, right? Later in the game, you need battlefield wipes, you need relief to deal with rigor mortis, and all the things you needed before. But, like, we don't have... Like, he has a Tomb of High Power to put Mass Flight on all these guys. So they get Mass Flight, which, by the way, not very good when you're outnumbered. But we don't have Army of Gold. We don't have Firestorm. We don't have even Anti-Magic, which is significant. Anti-Magic's good always. We don't have relief. These are all things that at this phase in the game, Jomon should be able to do trivially. So what should Jomon be doing? They should put together a big stack of guys with all those spells on them that Lemuria can't deal with, and then run forward and fight. The only problem, and this is one of the trump cards that Lemuria gets with that strategy, is that Lemuria can still do Wind of Death spam. But turn 1 anti-magic is a great way to kind of mitigate that. Mass regen also helps. But still, it's very annoying if it happens. So yeah, I mean, Lemuria takes a pretty big win here. This was some of the last forces that were left in this region for Jomon. Now, I mean, how is Jomon going to defend Arco's capital? He's not. Phlegran clearly isn't. You know, we can't really see the candles very well unless I really zoom in to inspect. But... You know, Lemuria is worried about Purgatory. That's kind of one of their defense mechanisms over here. But that's... You can't... Purgatory is okay, but it's not going to keep these ghosts out in the long run, right? They're building temples, the Dominion's going to push, and then the ghosts are going to come in. So, I think at this point, unless we start seeing people show that they know how to fight ghosts, I think it's pretty much over. Let's go look and see what happened with Abyssia. Maybe Abyssia is holding strong. Attacking right here. They're attacking right here. They're attacking here and here. Okay, they're not really going after a lot of the core Abyssian lands. Let's see what happened here. he got a decent amount of the Abyssian land. I think they're going to be pretty up on the score graph here. Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at the next turn. I think the wheels are off the wagon. Okay. Message from Ulm. Well, this is turn 86 now. So after my attack on Lemuria, I received a very confused Discord message from them asking why I had broken our nap. I say, what? Apparently we had one, so I paid them compensation. Wait, that's different than what Lemuria told us. Lemuria said Ulm thought they had a non-aggression pact when they didn't. Hold up. 1 second. I'm putting on my detective cap. Okay, no, I misunderstood. I figured out the mystery of why Ulm hadn't canceled their nap. They forgot we had one. Okay, so apparently they did have one, and Ulm forgot. I'm going to go back to our current turn. Okay, well, apparently we had one, so I paid them some compensation. I think some late game fatigue might be setting in. I suggested we could just keep up the appearances of war so that Jomon at least is working with some incorrect information. Every little bit helps. I think one of the things too, like you can see everybody, there's still a lot of like animosity towards Jomon. And Jomon does have all the globals, and they have been in a kind of decent position. But I think hopefully for you as the viewers, especially with my commentary, it's easy to understand why Jomon is not in position 1 at all right now. Like, they have... The only thing that's preventing Lemuria from taking all of the eastern stuff in Jomon is really Purgatory, and that's not going to last long. They've been losing most of the major engagements they've been having with Lemuria. They've beaten to hell by Bogarus fighting them. It's just, Jomon is not in position 1, guys. They're not even close to it. You want Jomon to be strong, right? Like, this is the thing, is like, in, you know, Dominions, you have to like shift alliances sometimes, etc., to keep the one person from running away with the game. Well, like, part of that is, especially when you get really far behind, like everybody's really far behind Lemuria right now. Like, I was ready to basically say the game is over. I mean, I'm not in the game. I don't get to make a pronouncement. I just mean in my casting of it. But like, when you're that far behind, everybody should be working together. Right? If somebody's a little bit ahead of the other person, well, fine, you know? But like, work together, everybody try to improve their position, and at some point, y'all might knock Lemuria back enough for other people to do things. Anyway, I also enslaved a PD commander, which is independently sieging a fort, which I cannot control. Might be a bug. What? I thought I saw that. That's actually sick. I've never seen that before. Lemuria seems to have attacked Abyssia. Abyssia was waiting to be attacked before starting the war, so they have no choice. Good. Okay. Currently waiting on one more turn before I can legally attack. Getting a tart for the next couple of turns and then Demon Lords. Hopefully there's some left. It is fun collecting the unique commanders, but hopefully y'all have heard my emphasis that it's not that. There's a lot more important things. Now, Ulm is doing a lot of the other important things right, like casting Firestorm and the right spells. Those are way more important than having some fancy, unique dude. Message from Bogarus. It's time for war. My turn on Satis will begin. I won't spoil too much here since most of my actions should be relatively obvious. And we've been speeding through the turn, so we haven't been looking up at the build-up of Bogarus' stuff into, you know, attacking Satis, but we'll be looking this turn. So he hits Satis' cap, and then it's actually kind of a, oh, well, he has a guy here. You have to attack from an adjacent province. I feel like they might have changed it too, so the like I bet you, well, they didn't. Yeah. Sometimes the PD is still there, even if you kill it from a horror attack. Let's just look here on the map. So, yeah, Lemuria is going after Satis too. Bogarus takes this. He moves out with a big stack here, which is invisible to us because, you know, things. Hits this with a golem, but there's... The golem looks like got sent home with returning. Takes... Okay, so no, you can't... So he killed the PD here and then hit this with a scout. I know Horror Harmonica golems don't work on top of forts. but I mean, they work, but the PD regenerates for whatever reason. Lemuria. Oh, Ryujin trying to take this and fails against almost no PD. Let's just watch this. Does he not have items? Is that what's happening here? He's jumped into melee. Or I assume he's going to die in like 6 different ways. I guess the goal was to kill commanders, but these guys don't actually really have magic attacks for ghosts. Yeah, this one's actually kind of interesting. So again, he's getting the horror cannon a little wrong. You want to do... He had a scout here, and he's attacking the same province he's casting Sin Lesser Horror on. You want to do Sin Lesser Horror first in the magic phase, and then you move from an adjacent province to scout in. What actually happened here, you can see the scout battle was first, and then the horrors end up beating the PD. And what happens is if you do a magic phase attack, normally if there's a stealthy unit attacking, it won't show up until the normal phase. But if there's a magic phase attack flag, it will cause any unit that is, present, reporting for duty, ready to attack that province and is currently presently in that province, so like normal phase movement orders haven't happened yet, it'll show up in battle. And in that case, it's a scout. And so because there was a magic phase attack flag here, the scout shows up, has a battle in the magic phase, and then the horrors do. Anyway. Yeah. All right, so Bogarus is moving out. Very cool. Coming over to Lemuria. I mean, they are definitely up Abyssian land in this war, but Abyssia has moved a major stack out here, and it gets pinged by Lemuria. And they've retaken this province, killing a few ghosts. Let's see what they're doing here. Ooh, big fire elementals. And Pillar of Fire. A little overkill. But Pillar of Fire, good spell. And fire elementals, especially if you can give them some protection buffs, like even just mass protection helps a ton against ghosts, and then maybe cast anti-magic on them. They're going to do a lot of work in Rigor Mortis. And let's see what we got here. Not a ton of mages, only about 10. But pretty spooky stack with a lot of Hellspawn. Some of these Hellspawn have Fire Flare. I can't remember how many of them do, but that could be pretty interesting because it's really killy. No, these guys don't. They just have light lances. I think these guys might. No, venomous fangs. Who are the ones with... These guys are going to have it, right? Yeah, fire flare. All right, so not most of them. Do these guys have it? Okay, these guys do. So there's some interesting options here. The problem is I don't think they have enough of the fire flare guys. And I think a lot of them are on, like... They're going to get split up. Like, they're flyers and they're going to attack, or... that's part of the problem with like this infernal breeding is actually keeping them in an organized like army where they don't get killed in detail. Anyway, Abyssia is rolling out. I'm excited to see it, and there's a lot more guys coming in here. So hopefully he has supply items. I'm not going to take the time to go ahead and check because we're kind of speeding through these late game turns here. Ulm. I think this is the fort, right? Yeah. Takes this from Lemuria. So this is the first fort we've had going off from Lemuria in some time. Being lifted from them. But I like that Ulm had, they had a nap, they backed off. That makes sense. Very honorable of them. The thing I don't like is they had like a lot of initiative there. I like that their move... They're moving, their patrol, they locked a bunch of forts down. There's a lot of ghosts over here, so I expect, big fights. What I don't know is where the Lemurian god is, and that's going to be important for things like Foul Vapors. So hopefully we see Ulm with like Serpent's Blessing and a relief up. Those are things Late Age Ulm should be able to do pretty easily. They have big communions, and then their fortune tellers are nature randoms, so you can kind of do arbitrarily high levels of nature magic. But we'll see. There's definitely far more ghost military power over here than there is Ulmish stuff. But it's possible that the research advantage that Ulm should have, let's take a look. Yeah, they're double Lemuria. Lemuria's way down here. That research advantage should play out. Like they should be able to still kill big stacks of ghosts. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if Ulm has like Firefiend and stuff so that he can Firestorm on top of his army, but we'll find out. So that's that. Jomon. Okay, so he gets those scouts off of, or those units off of Arco's cap. The Earth Snake's running around. He kills a few ghosts here. Dione YOLOing in here. This might have been a magic phase too. Let's see if this is an air too. Ooh. Staff of Elemental Mastery. Very expensive on top of a Dione. Soul Vortex? Soul Vortex? Soul Vortex? Frostbrand? Doomglaive, that's gonna hurt. Soul Vortex, he still might have lived. I have no idea why you wouldn't do Soul Vortex here. Anyway, he gets picked apart here. Lemuria's done a good job embedding some console thugs in the army with really killy weapons. Obviously, pretty painful loss there for Jomon. He moves in a bunch of other stuff. Is he successful here? I saw something. Was that Army of Gold? That was Army of Gold. These are very good. It's going to make... Now, there are some Soul Vortex Grand Lemurs here, which are going to be a little tricky to kill. Ideally, you want like a couple Onioji here that are going to do solar rays and things like that. That really helps. Yeah, they can't quite kill these thugs. Oh, maybe they can. They got all of them but one. Oh, hits him with Banefire at the end. Okay, so he barely takes it. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is when you're fighting Lemuria, you need to be able to kill some of these thugs. It's actually pretty easy. Just a few of these Onioji doing either Soul Slay or Solar Rays will usually take them out. One might not be enough. The Dione on Advance and Cast should also do Dust to Dust or things like that. I'm not sure why he was casting other things. Let's see what he was actually casting. But I like that he's being used as a caster here. Wither Bones, okay, that's good. Welcome Sign, what the fuck? What's his reinvigoration here? 7, okay, that's pretty good. Wither Bones. What is Welcome Sign? I have to pause, 1 second. Cool, so Welcome Sign is actually a charm. I didn't notice that. So he's trying to charm him with Welcome Sign, so that's acceptable off script. Pillar of Fire, Incinerate, Welcome Sign, Welcome Sign, Welcome Sign. I don't know why it didn't work at all. Yeah, it doesn't get... I guess they converted some of these Spectres, but they didn't get anything else. Kind of cool. Ryujin rolling out here. Let's see what he's doing. Maybe we start... Ryujin can be really heavy thugs. We haven't really seen him... A lot of times they work better in pairs. I mean, this is good thug gear. Okay. Very cool. Phlegras under siege. There's this army which was in this fort is moving back to defend the capital. Oh gosh, I think it ran into a Wind of Death trap. Yep. Did they... Let's watch this again. Did he have pin boosters on him? That is one of the questions. He did. Power Sphere's Wind of Death. I feel like he could have gotten 2 Wind of Deaths off. But as you can see, that was highly painful. Not all the Cyclops soldiers which got decay on them died, but a lot of them did. And I think the ones that didn't get decay on them are now going to be old. We'll see in the next few fights. This is like it's like the march back from Moscow for Napoleon's army. Like went off here on this big Grand Armée crusade, and then they're just bleeding as they come back. They've got the unquenched flame sword or whatever that's been heat from helling their army literally every province, killing a few guys. Now they've got Wind of Death traps. Bad news bears. All right. So I think that's that. We're at 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and call it here for this episode. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just pronounce, guys. I think Lemuria is won. Ulm was showing signs of being able to put like all the pieces together to start like taking infrastructure, and indeed they did take a Lemurian fort off them this turn. They don't really have a big enough army to take forts quickly enough at this point, I don't think. And they have to do a lot of things right, and there's a lot of things that go wrong with Wind of Death spam, etc. And they'd have to also have the right tools in place to manage that. I just don't see Jomon doing the things they need to do to win, and Jomon's already lost a lot of like pieces. You know, like he's down a lot of material in this fight. Coming off the back of the Coalition War where he lost a lot. I just don't see Lemuria losing this. So what we're going to do for the next episodes is I'm going to really kick it into overdrive. I might not even read all the messages because there's going to be a lot of hand-wringing and stuff. And we're just going to kind of scroll through these and look at quick battles. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time and see how this all plays out. Until then, take care.